Hello, welcome to Mount Cain, doing my avalanche safety training. Let's go. About halfway up the first half. Top of the tee. Beautiful view. Nice view.
That's made, I think it's 21 centimeters or something. With this, you can drill in to the snow. I'll just draw on the surface what it would look like. Kind of nice. It'll cut through better than this style, because you have to put a piece of like webbing on here. Usually like Dyneema works the best because it's quite thin, right? So it'll cut through the snow better. And how these work, the reason you have to put that angle there is when you load it with that angle, if you get the angle correct, it'll actually, if you load it, it'll get sucked down into the snow.
Alright.
If it's not correct, it'll just pop right out. Or if it's too much of an, yeah. You don't want to disturb the snow in front of it really too much. You know, so that's where all the strength is coming from. I'm just going to cut that and see, because if it'll slip down here. Nope. Slide down a bit in there, or
It's around the same, man.
It's slightly
It's
pushing forward now.
yeah.
Up an inch.
Is that just based on the snowpack being wide?
Yeah, sometimes. And the spike are kind of the terminology. So, and there's all different types of fluids, right? So this one has a curve in it, so it's a little better for more technical climbing. It also has this little hand rest you can move down, so if you're swinging it, the curve keeps it away from the ice and stuff, so you can get better placements. Also, you'll see on mine compared to the pick shape's different. So my pick, it goes and then it kind of points up a little bit or whatever. So that works a lot better when you're swinging into ice. Whereas this more downward pointed pick is maybe slightly better for self-arrest. So, but you know, you still have your ads and spike. So, yeah.
Cool.
Let's try and put it on a little more angle.
Way to drop. Woo.
One finger, same thing, and then pencil, use the top of your pencil, and then knife, use a knife. So You need 30 centimeters deep minimum, and 15 centimeters of that has to be pencil hardness or resistance or harder. So that's important. Usually in the summer conditions, it's like really easy to get, you know, pencil or harder snow. In the winter, you might have to dig pretty deep to get to that.
Understand.
And the flatter the ground, the further you need to dig that out, so you can avoid that levering action.
Mm-hmm.
Situation. There you go. You don't have to fill in the T there, or like the top of the T, unless it's going to be like unintended for, you know, you're doing a rescue, say, and then I'd backfill the top there and just fill it in.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm just using it for a quick anchor, I'm right beside it, then you don't have to fill it in. It doesn't really add any strength, it might just help it from keeping it from popping out. All the strength in this anchor is from this snow in front, so I'm trying not to disturb that front snow. If you're gonna put skis in, you just put them together like a regular ski carry you would, and then just put like a ski strap on, you know, part of it so they don't like scissor apart.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can just clove hitch around the skis.
Getting to build my own.
Always good to get good at something before you try to get fast, okay?
All right. And more. There we go. Set up. Alright. So don't connect to. Where's that little hole?
We get one more axe going on this and dig it out.
The long way up.
Yeah, we're really see how much
Long.
angle I have on that.
What?
Just follow that around.
Snowball.
Do you want to go how big of an angle?
Now I need to start rappelling here. I'm pulling up too much on the rope, so I'd have to build this a lot further away from the edge. Also, I wouldn't want to go and start rappelling over here now, because it's going to cut sideways, right? So cut those out a little bit more.
Oh yeah, you're gonna pop right through there. I heard, yeah.
Pretty good now.
Took a little sketch at
Got
first.
like probably over halfway through it.
Did it really?
I think so.
Crazy.
Oh,
Anyway,
it's like
we kind of decided that
Yeah,
the snow was
interesting.
probably too soft for it, but you get the idea.
I don't know. Building home.
Hitch or a bolt hitch on a beaner on your fillet loop.
See how well it holds.
I think you guys the snow is a little firmer here maybe.
Yeah, maybe. You still see it at the top. That's a good sign.
Yeah.
Might actually work.
You want to give it a try?
Sure.
Maximum friction with the Italian hitch is when the strands are parallel with each other like that.
Right. I'll hold there.
Go that way a bit.
Tilt one a little bit. Nice. Feel secure? You good?
Yeah.
Crevasse rescue. Currently putting on a prusik to the line. Line is connected to the anchor. Connecting to the safety rope, so not too fallen.
Tight so they don't fall in very far if they fall in, or well actually it's really your route finding on the glacier so you don't end up on a crevasse and falling in, then keeping the rope tight while you're moving on glaciers so they don't fall in very deep if they do fall in. And then the next kind of thing is if they do fall in and they hopefully they don't get injured, but a lot of times people do when they fall in crevasses, they hit the ice or whatever. But if they aren't injured, then they're gonna be able to climb out on their own. We'll still want to build an anchor and stuff like that, but they can use the prusiks and climb out the rope hopefully. And then if that's not going to work, maybe they broke their wrist or something, I don't know, their arm, whatever, then maybe we need to do a rope rescue. So I talked to them, yeah, they can't climb out on their own, which we'll maybe practice this evening or whatever or something down at the camp, prusik on a rope. But they can't climb out, so I'm gonna have to haul them up. Now the first way to haul up is if you have a really big group or there's multiple other people on the glacier. The first method you use is what's called a tractor pull, and it's pretty basic. Just start, you know, if you have a whole bunch of people, you just start pulling on the rope and pull them up out of the crevasse. No fancy rope tricks, nothing. The caveat with it is you should have a spotter at the lip of the crevasse, because when they get right to the lip, there's often like a bit of an overhanging bit of snow, like a cornice type thing where they fell in. And if you have a whole bunch of people, you can pull super hard and you can injure them or kill them by pulling them into that lip. So you need to have somebody here spotting, be like, okay, whoa,
Right.
and then you kind of help them over the lip. Okay. You can even pull them into the lip when you have the rope, using the ropes and stuff and the mechanical advantage, and injure or kill them too. So you need to be really careful when you're getting them when they get close to the surface. Anyway, so we've determined that we need to do a rope rescue, but they're conscious. You don't have to rappel in there and do first aid or anything. That could be also a scenario, but I don't think we'll get into that for this. But you could potentially have to rappel in there, take their backpack off, take their skis off, maybe do some first aid, and then climb out and then pull them out. So
Right.
but we're not going to get into that here. Okay, so
Simple through one carabiner with a rope. Having checked the ground and area for crevasses, is now releasing. Putting the prusik onto the other side of the anchor to have a progress tracker. Hold.
then these are the two strands of our drop loop. So one going down through a beaner on the person in the crevasse, coming back up, and then we have our prusik. We're going to use that as our progress capture. And the belay device, all it's there is to mind the prusik, to keep it from flipping through the carabiner. You can put a prusik without the belay device, but it tends to work a little better just to have that to manage the prusik.
And for safety as well?
No, it's not doing anything other than managing the prusik. It's not belaying or anything like that. It's just... And the one thing that the person in the crevasse can do is pull on this this strand right here. If they pull down on that to help lift themselves up, that'll help the situation. And as I pull, you can see the prusik gets pushed up against the belay device and it kind of opens it up almost. And then when I let go, it slides back down and grabs the rope. Releases the prusik, so you're just wasting, you know, whatever, 20 centimeters of pull every time, and you got to do this a lot of times, so it's going to slow you down. So you just make it really tight. That way when you release to do the progress capture, it's not going to have to slide all the way back down to here to tighten up. So keep this distance very short so you have a bit more efficiency stuff. So
And you just call it a pulley, yeah?
no, it is a micro traction.
Micro traction.
Because it has the pulley, but it also has these
Progress
teeth
tracker.
right here that grab the rope, and you can lock them open right there. This little lever.
Right.
If you just want to use it just as strictly as a pulley. But the reason I carry this is because it's it's got the pulley built in and the teeth, so I could use it just as a pulley or I could use it for like ascending a rope with the teeth, and it's highly efficient. It's really small. So when you have any of these systems and you're like adding mechanical advantage, you have a lot of losses due to friction. So if you can put in a couple pulleys like this, it's going to really help you out a lot.
Makes sense.
So this is going to replace the prusik and the belay device.
Cool.
The one thing with this is you just got to make sure you put the orientated right so the teeth are grabbing. one thing to note with any tooth type device is if you generate a lot of force, like 4 kilonewtons or more, it'll take the sheath right off the rope.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd never want to use this for like belaying somebody or something like that.
Right. True.
If it grabs on, you know, and you generate 4 kilonewtons, it'll just take the sheath off the rope. So
Yeah, it's a jump of me.
I mean, people do use them for belaying, but that's, yeah.
It makes
Definitely out
sense
of
to
the
be
scope
cautious of that at least.
No, I wouldn't recommend it unless you're expert,
Right.
expert
Yeah.
user.
That makes sense. Understandable.
And it's much
Nice.
faster, I found.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not even pulling on this time.
No, I'm not. Yeah, there's less friction because you have to imagine when you're pulling the rope through the prusik, it's still grabbed onto the rope a bit, so there's friction there.
Mm-hmm.
And then every time it goes around a beaner, there's friction going over the beaner.
Mm-hmm.
So this is way more efficient. A lot less friction. It's way faster to put on.
Right.
Yeah.
Looks simple.
Every once in a while, on the load line here, crew.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is, you know, a very short distance, but mainly if they fall off the bat, maybe it's a bit further. I'm gonna just put an overhand knot in here, just to take the slack up in case you had a failure in your system. At least they wouldn't fall to the bottom; they just fall a little bit until they caught up with that. So just to reduce the slack in the system.
Awesome. Okay.
They don't fall in a crevasse, so we don't want to have 2 people in crevasses. And then once you get pretty close to me, making sure this is a safe area to work, they'll build the anchor while that middle person is still holding the fall. And then we're going to transfer the load, and that's the stage we're at right here, is transferring the load. And yeah, we could just hook into here, or we could put a prusik on here and hook into that also. And then we're just gonna, you know, the other person, they're still on the rope with their prusik. We're just gonna transfer the load on the anchor, make sure it's holding. Just step back, tighten it up, and it's good. So we take ourselves off, and then that person's probed this area out. There's no crevasses here, so I'm okay to take my clothes off. Remember, when I have my coils on, if I'm in an area of like consequence, you know, I'm Glacier, you know, crevasses, or I've got coils because I'm, you know, short pitching like we talked about yesterday. And if I could fall off something, we always want it to be tied in, right? If I fall off now, it can tighten up and choke me. So
Right.
just a reminder on that. Mentioned that yesterday.
Being cautious of both ends of the rope, not let go of the rope itself. Currently attaching prusik to the other line,
Drop loop to the drop loop.
to the drop loop.
Put some big
Press
overhand knots in every once in a while in your load line to take up the slack. I mean, I'd go more than that, but just for demo purposes. Yeah.
I'll do that now. How'd you guys do? Round 2?
Round 2.
Yeah, doing great. Do you have to do it again as well?
No, like person feet.
We're just doing legs.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've fallen, you're on the thing.
Ah.
Put you down.
Ground is checked. I'm currently locked in on the anchor. Next step is to add on the pressic, come down, bring the loop, the
Do you want us to coil this rope?
I'm gonna use it right now. Thank you.
what was the return loop called again?
Yeah, so that one that's on there now is the load line,
Load line here.
and then if you drop a loop down to them, it's a drop loop.
Drop loop. Okay.
And that's the name of the system, a drop loop.
Drop loop system.
Yeah.
Cool.
There's also a direct haul or a Z pull.
Right.
So.
Fair enough. Director red. Alright. So next step will be pressic to bring the drop loop, and then return, add the belay, pull in, and that's it. Very nice. Great work. High five.
And then it's done. And they're safe.
Woo.
Awesome. Let me see it. It's good. Is that locked? Nice. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, this is good. It's like nice and close to the beaner, so that's awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah, you put in some backup knots.
Good.
Cool. Nice work. At least they don't go off the end of the rope and gone. Okay. And just so we're totally clear on it, we aren't going to use sling or cordelette on these pickets going forward. I mean, that's just what we have today. So, but it's kind of sharp, eh?
So now we're adding more mechanical advantage to the drop loop system. And, from a 2-to-1 pulley ratio to a 4-to-1.
Exactly.
Note that approximately, maybe. So we're laying down on an Italian hitch. Moving up a bit.
I know, it feels unsafe.
All right, go for it.
Cool. Getting close to incline.
Yeah, lean back if you can.
Okay. Got it. Straight down.
Yeah, lean back.
Yeah. Ah.
You standing on the bottom there?
About a foot or 2. Foot and a half.
Hang on the rope.
I'm on the rope.
Yeah, just lay down. Lay down now.
Yeah. Relaxing. So this is how they make those tents. Sleep out on a ledge, you know? Pretty nice. Just reflecting here. It'll be so much fun. Just drop in on there, right into there. Pretty sweet. Nice little rock gaps at the top here too. I'd love to ride here someday. So priority for traveling on avalanche glacier areas: route pathing, tight ropes, probing, checking the snow, and being cautious around areas. And then there's this as our last resort. Descending.
Ready, Freddy? Ready, call everybody.
On there. Ends hooked on the other one.
And just get your brake. No, there's no daisy chain. We just
Overhead.
yeah, we just tie it off.
Right. Okay, press it on cable. Descending with the drop line. Usually we don't do drop line to load line. There might be nuts. Working down. Catching snow. Hello. Need to help?
I would love some help. I keep sliding down a little bit.
Oh yeah? That's a good sign. That was close. Here it is.
I almost had it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Awesome. I'll get you out of there in a minute.
Sounds good.
don't go past your anchor. You probably have to do another reset. Just go that way slowly and see if the pressure holds.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it is. Okay, you have to move this one down and do a reset.
Okay.
Awesome, and then if you needed like more power, you can clip into it, right?
Right.
You want to do
Makes
it nice
sense.
and close to the beaner down there, so you're not wasting.
Rope.
And the further down you put the carabiner, the more you get it that way, right?
The more efficient, yeah.
Right. Oh yeah, because
Less resets you do, the closer you are to your beaner there, but that's pretty okay. Yeah, there you go. And you can turn around and face me, and you can get down.
right.
If you really need a lot of.
You right? That works.
Yeah, and then you don't go past your anchor there.
Right.
Make sure your prusik bites. Looks like it's not.
Right.
You might use your fingers and there you go. There you go. Cool. Now you can just pull it by hand.
Right.
Just wanted you to know that technique.
Alright, I'm pulling on this one.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay, right on, Chris.
Good.
We'll clean it all up.
Hold on. That's all for today's top of the mountain. We might be doing a little more inclining once we finish dinner and everything tonight. Hope you've enjoyed so far. Learned something new. Maybe inspired to go out and have some adventurous endeavors. Be awesome. Be great. All the best. Cheers.